Welcome back once again to the Lightning Step Couch. My name is Benjamin Turner. I am your behavioral health advocate here at Global Exchange 2023. Sitting on the couch next to me is Quinn Padilla. She is a trauma therapist with her own virtual private practice out of Niceville, Florida. Quinn, thank you so much for joining us.
Me.
Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you're doing in Niceville?
Yeah, so I am a trauma therapist,
Mm-hmm.
as you stated. I do a lot of different modalities of trauma therapy, EMDR, brain
Mm-hmm.
spotting, EFT tapping, so a lot of nervous system regulation stuff. I also do coaching,
Okay.
like life coaching type
Yeah.
stuff. I am also very uh, passionate about supporting women who have survived abusive relationships. And I work a lot with women who are trying to like break cycles of abuse, especially in their relationships, and stopping repeating
Yeah.
those cycles in like future relationships.
How'd you get into this?
So I am a survivor of childhood trauma.
Okay.
As one of my therapist, when I,
Yeah.
because I do my own work,
Yeah.
would say, she was like, you have generational trauma, childhood trauma, um, adult trauma, and like, recent trauma, so much has gone on in my life. Um, and I think, which is wonderful about being here at the
Mm-hmm.
Global Exchange and meeting so many other survivors has
Yeah.
been like really
Empowering,
wonderful and
yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
empowering. And I want to bring that also to, other people that are not in the industry,
Yeah.
So kind of
Yeah.
my experience and my pain has
Mhm.
like brought a lot of life into my work.
Yeah. You mentioned that you yourself have a therapist.
Mhm.
We don't hear that often about therapists having therapy, but I think it's almost vital. I mean, could you do your job to your fullest if you didn't have the support you have?
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
And it I mean, if we ourselves believe that therapy is powerful, that it can fix things like anxiety or depression or whatever it is that we're struggling with, but we're still struggling with anxiety and depression, and we're
Yeah.
like, oh, I think I know as a therapist, anxiety or therapy fixes anxiety, depression, but
Mhm.
I'm not getting treatment for
Yeah.
anxiety or depression. What does that say about the
Absolutely.
work that you're doing?
Yeah. You got to practice what you preach sometimes, right? Yeah.
Absolutely.
How what advice would you give somebody, or how can clinicians and therapists like yourself overcome that hesitancy to find care for themselves?
Hmm. Um, well,
Or
I think they have to make time.
yeah,
Like we're so
yeah,
just like therapists, just like anybody else in any other industry, or we're so um overbooked.
yeah.
Like, we're stretching ourselves thin and all these different
Mhm.
areas. So like prioritizing that because we tell other people to prioritize that, or like prioritize your mental health. It's so important. And so we have to like
Yeah,
really turn that back
yeah,
around. So I think eating our own words.
yeah. I like that. Yeah,
Like, okay,
yeah.
you got to eat. I've been a coach for a very long time. And so I've learned that what I say to somebody else is probably going to at some point come back to
Come
me.
back to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That's interesting. How can providers ensure that treatment plans reflect the patient's values?
Collaboration,
Yeah.
100%. I mean, I always come to the table, or, I sit at a desk because
Yeah.
I do virtual
Yeah.
practice. So
Yeah.
I'm always coming to my desk and to the screen, I guess I would say, because
Mhm.
I do virtual therapy. Um, with the belief that my client knows best about
Yeah.
whatever it is that they're struggling with, whatever it is that they need. And I'm really just, doing what the stuff that I know how to do, but almost like with their guidance,
Yeah.
So I really rely on them.
What are the challenges with virtual care?
Um, I definitely miss the energy.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe in like our energies and co-regulation.
Mm-hmm.
We can't co-regulate with our patients. So if somebody is completely dysregulated through the screen, something's missed
Yeah.
there for sure. So they can't actually feel my nervous system. I think that there are still things that they can receive online,
Hmm.
like my facial expressions, my body posture, they can probably, see a little bit my breathing,
Hmm.
respiration, and they can co-regulate to that, but not to the same level
As the interperson.
as an
Yeah.
ear person. However,
Yeah.
what it lacks in the in-person,
Yeah.
being able to be there, being able to give a hug. I'm a hugger.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll hug after
That's
this.
us. Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Absolutely. Yeah.
So what it lacks in that, it makes up for in convenience.
Hmm.
It is so convenient. I have so many clients who are like, "Oh shoot, I forgot I had therapy." Jump on their phone, log in, they're in their car, they're on their lunch break. Like it makes it accessible
Yeah.
where those people would probably just fall off
Yeah. No,
of
and that
therapy.
touches on the next question I had. What are the benefits? I asked you what
Yeah.
what the issues are with it. What are the benefits aside from the ease of use? Are there other benefits to virtual care?
People, especially with trauma processing, can put themselves in very safe and comfortable
Yeah.
positions.
Yeah.
So I can have somebody who, maybe I'm dealing with somebody who's agoraphobic, who can't go outside, or somebody who doesn't like social situations, somebody who doesn't want people to know that they're in therapy.
Yeah.
It is incredibly discreet because nobody
Hmm.
knows. You're not going and parking in front of a building,
Yeah.
broadcasting that you're there if that's something that they deal with. So there are a ton but I always said, I was like, I'm never gonna do virtual, and I'm never gonna own my own business. And now I own my own virtual private practice.
Yeah.
So again, eating my own words.
There you go. Yeah. So we're here at Global Exchange. A lot of technology and innovation is being showcased here. How does technology play a role other than the fact that you're virtual? Um, what how does technology play a role in your process?
In my process of therapy.
Yeah. So is there does technology the technology that you're currently using, whether that's your EMR or any of those practice management tools, uh, are are they beneficial to you? Are there things you wish were being done better?
Hmm. Things I wish were being done better. I'm very curious about AI
Yeah,
notes.
yeah,
AI notes.
absolutely.
Very, very curious
Yeah.
about that because I write everything and then
Mhm.
I transfer it in. So I'm really curious about AI notes, been very concerned about violating
Yep.
privacy, and because I don't even do insurance because I just think that it's nobody's business what's like
Mhm.
happening.
Yeah.
So I don't even like putting notes in a computer that's fully protected.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it bothers me. I'm like,
Absolutely.
this isn't anybody else's business,
Yeah. Yeah.
So I haven't really thought much about like technology other than I use
Yeah.
technology as my business. Is
Absolutely.
completely my business.
Yeah.
I do use social media.
Okay.
So I'm very active on social media. And I use a lot of that platform to like educate
Yep.
and, build community
Mhm.
and advocacy and all that. So I guess that is another way that I do that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So
No, and social media can play a really important role in the treatment process, whether it's good or bad. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. TikTok's like, this is why you eat 5 popsicles a day. Listen,
Exactly.
it's because of your
Yeah.
trauma. You're like, what does that even
Yeah.
mean?
So,
Yeah.
what's some advice you would give to somebody that's within your care when it comes to social media? How do you talk to somebody about maybe avoiding some of those pitfalls, and how do you encourage them to use the better things of it?
Well, I think that like having awareness that it can be a little bit of like a slippery
Slippery slope.
slope.
Yeah.
Like we use social media to escape. We use social media to not connect in real life.
Yeah.
We use social media, but like again, there's the good sides of
Hmm.
it. And then there is a lot of misinformation out there. There is a lot of fake news and kind of fear mongering and all of those different things. So I think awareness and understanding, and that is something like with my clients, that is on my checklist of how much screen time do you have a day?
Yep.
That I definitely check in with, and they're like, how much screen time do you have? Because you're on Instagram all the time. I'm like, sure, I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm
this
not
isn't my session. Yeah,
this-
yeah, yeah. I'll talk to
um,
my therapist about
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Well, you mentioned AI. You can see it all over the place. AI is really starting to have a footprint within behavioral health, and I think it can provide some really great solutions to resolving burnouts, allowing clinicians to be able to spend more time with their clients and with their patients, and not having to dictate and transcribe all of that and by hand. So
Yeah.
I definitely encourage you to take a look at some of the
I
stuff that's out there.
will.
I'm
I
sure you
will.
are. Yeah. Quinn, is there anything that I haven't covered here on the couch that you want your guests to know, the people here at GXC? Any final words that are really important to you that you want everybody to know about?
I think that the message that I want people to hear, people who maybe haven't gone to treatment or haven't done therapy or are struggling with like anxiety, depression, trauma, whatever it is that my motto is healing is possible.
Yeah.
And I think that, we have this old version of therapy and maybe even old version of treatment that, you just go in and you talk about stuff and people are like, what is talking about stuff gonna do to my
Yeah.
life? And therapy, just like all of the technological stuff, has come so far. And things like anxiety, depression, trauma, like these are curable things. These are things that you do not have to live with for the rest of your life. You do not have to struggle every single day of your life. There is hope, it is possible. And there's so many new treatments that are available to us, and it continues to evolve. So I just want people to have that like hopeful message.
Absolutely. There is hope out there,
There's
folks.
hope.
There's definitely hope. Quinn, this has been a pleasure to sit here and chat with you. I really appreciate it. Again, Quinn Padilla. She's out of Niceville, Florida. She has her own virtual private practice. I really appreciate you sitting down with me. It's been a pleasure.
Absolutely. If you want to connect with me on social media,
Yeah.
my social media is at it's Quinn Padilla.
At It's Quinn Padilla.
That's it.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm
Thank you
on
so much.
Instagram all the time. Thank you.
Good. All right. Thank you guys.